Actually can watch this later. So you will literally hold this out just like this all night. Your camera's on this side, so try not to block that. Okay. This cable is just keeping your camera charged because it's only meant to be there for an hour. It's a little heavier than a cell phone because of the battery pack on the back. So you are good to go. You're my cameraman all night long.
All right.
Well, you two are actually going to share because this way you can actually help keep an eye on it too. And trust me, holding this out for 2 hours can be very daunting.
Oh yeah.
All right. If I'm speaking in different tongues, guys, please just speak up. This is an EMF detector. Does anybody not know what this is? It's okay to raise your hand. Okay, EMF detection, electromagnetic fields. This is our first indication that something is actually occurring. So it will detect anything from the earth, which is green, right? Anything from the spiritual world, or anything from man-made objects. Man-made objects could be cell phones, could be electrical wires. Do not turn off your cell phones, it's not necessary. However, whenever this thing goes off, that entity is right here. It is on it. It is making it happen. So let's say we're walking over a main street of Charleston. Our ley lines are underneath the street. Do not get excited when this thing kind of goes a little crazy because those EMFs are literally touching it. That's how strong they are for the crosswalks and street lights. So we're also not looking for anything that's going to be in a rhythmic pattern or steady. That's from a man-made object. Our cell phones will give off a pulse, if that kind of gives you a gist. We're looking for things that are crazy and a little bit erratic. So Owen, you need to speak up every time that thing goes crazy. That's all you, buddy.
Let everybody know what's going on.
Yes, exactly. So really, Owen is going to be our first indication that we have something happening. Is that fair?
Fair.
Leave it to the kid to speak up.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find the right stuff going on here. Okay, first spirit box. This one's a little, I just got this one last week. It's a little different than a normal spirit box. So what is a spirit box? Does anybody not know?
Do not know.
Do not know.
Okay, super cool. So a spirit box actually will sweep through radio stations based on an AM or FM band. I have it set to FM. It will literally start going through them very, very quickly. In the event we were actually meant to hear something from the spiritual world, the clicking of the sweeping of the radio stations will stop and you will hear a word.
Hear what?
You'll hear a word come through.
Okay.
Okay? Or you might hear the DJ, you might hear a song lyric, or you might actually hear a disembodied voice going over top of the static. That's happened before too. Okay? So what does that mean? That means we can ask questions and get intelligent responses. Super cool, right? Super bad thing about this guy is it's going to record the entire thing for us to listen to tomorrow. So it's a little hard to listen for a full 2 hours. I won't lie. I have to do it in about 15-minute intervals because it gets very difficult to hear, but we will have it on an audible all night long. So, Allison, you seem excited. We're going to give this one.
I'm already creeped out by like the Alexa voice. So.
All right, so I'm going to actually walk down the line so you guys can all get a gist of what this thing sounds like, and then I'll show you how to operate it. You only need to know one button.
Cool.
So it's going through very quickly.
Okay. Yep.
You can even see the radio stations changing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going through them pretty fast. If she hears something, we were meant to hear it because it will pause for that split second. If she gets a 2 to 5 syllable word, we were definitely meant to hear it. So it's already on record, and all you're going to hear is the flipping of the radio station. So we kind of have to time this just right when I'm watching the videos to make sure everything goes through. You only need to know one button, the volume. It's up here. It's a turnstile.
Okay.
You turn it in, and it turns it down while I'm talking, and you can turn it back up whenever.
Sounds good.
That's called a spirit box?
It's called a spirit box. I have a number. I think it's probably going to go. As soon as I find the other one. So the other one does not record, and it is probably one you've seen on all the ghost hunting shows. This is an SB7. I am going to attach a speaker to it. It does the exact same thing the other one's doing. It just operates a little differently. I'm going to turn it on so everybody can hear it. That's as high as it goes. It's not going to record, so we're going to have to rely on the two of you to actually tell us what you hear. Now, in the event, like I told her with the volume, you just need to turn the speaker around into the center. it'll shut it off, but it's still sweeping here. So then you just turn it back on again when you want to ask questions.
Why would I turn it off?
In case you wanted to hear more of the story, because it can be very distracting when you're trying to hear it. Because I am going to tell stories tonight. This isn't just let's go hunt and see what we find. You got to know what you're looking for. All right, let's see what else. Do I have a ladder in here? Maybe. Let's see. So we should. So we should all know what this guy is by now, right?
A thermometer.
Yes. So what this thermometer is gauging is only what the red dot touches. So I started off with just this thermometer, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. How am I going to find cold spots when it's touching solid objects? Spirits aren't solid, right? It's going to go right through it. So that's what this guy here is for. This is a psychrometer. What this does is it actually measures humidity. The bottom number measures the temperature through the probe at the top. So in the event Jeff finds a blue cold spot, we can actually, and he says it's right in front of that wall. We can shoot the wall and say, you know what, the wall is the same temperature. But in case the wall isn't the same temperature, then we can try to find between Jeff and the wall where the cold spot is actually coming from. Does that make sense? Yes. Yeah. All right. So this is going to help us debunk things. This is going to go to you back there. You actually get two gadgets. The debunker. All right. This is the neuralizer from Men in Black. None of you are going to remember anything by morning. This is really a grid pen.
Ooh.
So this helps us see what the naked eye cannot see. I like to set it to as many dots as possible. The way you use this guy is you literally point it straight down and you work its way out. And now it will actually go out pretty far. I'm going to go this way because I know there's nobody in that building. But look at the building. See the dots? Now, with this guy, actually, what we're going to be looking for, I'm going to do a quick demonstration. Step back here. Everybody kind of keep an eye. And actually, Jeff, if you want to film this, this would actually be, it actually shows up really cool on there. That way you can kind of see what the white outline is going to
So
be.
you've already got it set for filming, right?
Yeah, so you see the red square on there?
Yep.
As long as that's a square all night, you're recording. If it turns to a circle, just hit it again. You'll have two videos.
Okay.
Okay. If you kind of see those green streaks that are coming through, keep in mind the spirit is not going to stay in there very quickly. It's not going to stay in there that long time. So it's going to go very quick. So if you look at my hand, it's going to just flash before you. And it might not even be a full flash. It's going to go very, very quick in and out. Who does not have a gadget? Where am I at? Dad doesn't have one, but you guys have a spirit box that usually goes to two people.
We'll share. We got it.
Oh,
Right.
got it. Okay.
That's how that goes.
Sure. Got it.
So,
we're good.
Dad, laser, any responsible folks? Sorry, kids. All right, one more. And of course, this is going to be yours. Same thing as the grid pen, only we have an actual grid. So why is this important? This is important because in the event we actually capture something and we get it on video, and one of us is quick enough to capture a picture of it, whatever's there, I can take that picture or the video, put it in a 3D model, and we can see exactly what we captured. That's what the grid is for. Does that make you're looking
No,
kind
I
of
don't
confused?
understand how that would work.
Okay, so in a 3D modeler,
Yeah.
kind of like a 3D printer, you take anything that, like those grids, like I can put that picture of my hand in there, and it's going to give you a resemblance of my hand on the other side.
At that moment or in the future?
At that moment. It needs all those lines to determine the size of my hand.
Okay, okay,
Then I can recreate the picture.
okay. Cool. Yes. Awesome.
So, it will also have that quick flash to it. You're going to be looking for very quick flashes. Again, point straight down, go out slowly, stay away from windows, major streets. Okay. All right, so you got a couple more things. I will be recording this entire thing for you guys. To listen for EVPs, or Electronic Voice Phenomenon, July 2nd, 9 p.m. tour. This stays with me all night long. Not only will you be able to listen to it for the stories and whatnot that I tell, you could be listening in the background in case any other answers come up that didn't come up through the spirit boxes. So that way, if a disembodied voice comes through and it's not on a spirit box, you have it right here, okay? Not to mention, you're gonna have some kind of souvenirs from your tour, okay? So far we're up to 3. We got the video, we got my audio, and then we have the recording from the spirit box. We got one more to go. You guys thought you were gonna be done after tonight, right? No, I'm gonna put y'all to work tomorrow morning. So I keep a couple of apps on my phone. First off, I keep an EMF, just in case Owens goes bad, or the battery's drained. which has happened. So I like to have a backup. So I don't have to pull it out too often, but I like to have it ready.
How would it go crazy? Like, would it be flashing everywhere?
Oh yeah, it'll just be all over. Trust me, you'll see it.
It's flashing.
It's flashing already.
I would say the first green light is flashing. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's still kind of a steady pulse to me. Like it's seeming to kind of stay right there. It's probably
Maybe it's his picking up his cell phone or something.
yeah. It might actually. It's probably coming from the building. So I use the spirit box on my phone. What this guy will do is it will actually give us words in the center. Okay, it's doing the exact same thing. Now keep in mind, none of the spirit boxes here are synced up. So if I'm asking questions to this spirit box and the words come up here or on yours, that's why I will walk away from the folks with the spirit boxes, so that way it's not being influenced. If I say, hey, what color is the building next to us? You're not looking for tan. You're not looking for beige. Does that make sense to everybody? If you get, it just said beige. Why would it say that? Because I just asked what color the building was to kind of give that proof. Now, I will tell you, this app is meant to be a game of hoax. 80% of it doesn't mean anything. The other 20%, however, is what will be linked into what we do. Now, you will get the full word list. It averages about 55 to 65 words. That's from our last tour. I'm going to clear it out to start you guys off fresh. And you guys will have that full list. I've already got the word hung. So again, not sure if that actually means anything, but it's there. Just so everybody can kind of see what it is. I will interrupt my own stories to say what the spirit box said. Last but not least, this one kind of adds a little bit of flair. This is a reverse spirit box. I don't know how this technology works, but it's wonderful. It takes the FM radio stations and it turns them backwards. So it sounds like complete gibberish. What comes through forwards is what we were actually meant to hear. So I'm actually going to do the same thing like I did with the first spirit box, and just kind of walk down the line and give you guys a gist of what this actually sounds like. Can be a little creepy, and you actually... Oh, you're good. You need to come through?
Yeah. We're supposed to be here for the 9:30 ghost tour.
That's not me. That's Bulldog.
Oh,
2 blocks down.
Sorry.
So pretty creepy. And you're going to hear a lot of that on your audio because it's going to be on whenever I'm asking questions, and you can still hear me over top of it. So, again,
When
just
was
keep the
that?
volume down. That's a reverse spirit box.
Okay.
All right. So, we're getting a little bit of drizzle. All right, so guys, we're standing at a haunted location. It's one of the reasons why I start here. This used to be Big John's. Now, none of you are, well, you guys live here.
Yeah, I don't know history. No, I don't know the
So I can tell
history.
you guys anything I want.
It'll all be
Nobody's
new.
gonna
Yeah,
care.
I won't question it here.
So anyway, this used to be called Big John's. It was named after a football player. I don't know what team, not a sports guy. But Big John, this was back in the 70s, just so you guys know. He used to sit in the back of the bar, and the cadets over from the Citadel would come over for a drink. And they would, Big John would let them know if they were of age or not to have a beer. Well, one night, he made 2 guys mad because he told the bartender to cut them off. They're not old enough. So the 2 guys get mad, they leave. The next night they come back and they steal the cash register from the front of the building. Big John pulls out his gun and takes one out. He kills one. The bullet hole is still in the front of the building, and it was merely covered up by the last owner. His name was Paul, and it was Kane Rumbar. So if you actually look up this address, it comes up as Kane Rumbar. He actually just left during the pandemic and went down to Florida. But anyway, so he used to talk to John all the time. Bottles would rattle whenever he asked questions, or because Big John approved of the place still being a bar. But it is said that anybody that sits in the front of the bar where the bullet hole is will start to feel a little queasy, a little disoriented, those kind of things. I bring this story up on purpose. Literally, the last tour I gave, which was Sunday night, somebody couldn't make it. The EMF and paranormal activity was just too much for them. You have to speak up. If you're not feeling well, or something is kind of not right, speak up early, so that way we can either get you out of the area or do what we need to do. That's probably the scariest part, and that's not meant to scare you. I know how this stuff is going to affect me. And I've already told you two already that in the event something is not comfortable with me, I will move the whole group on very, very quickly. I've only had to do it twice in the past year that I've been doing this, where I said, guys, we have to go now. And that's when I said, and I'll do a big let's go. Is that fair?
Yeah.
All right, one more ghost here. We had a big earthquake here in 1886. This allegedly is where the first death occurred. So the mantle above you wraps around the front of the building. A piece of it broke off from the earthquake, struck a man in the head, and his ghost has been seen several times right on East Bay Street from the previous owner. So Paul used to tell me all kinds of stories, as you can tell. So let's go ghost hunting, guys. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna go this way.
Should we keep this on as we walk or
You
just
can.
when we get there?
So I would just say, if you want to hear what I'm saying, turn it down. How about that? If I'm giving a story or you're
This is different, huh? Oh, interesting too. Might be really interesting, huh? This has stuff to see on TV.
Alright, let's get everybody gathered up here real quick. Alright, so remember I told you guys this is going to be like your big teach and train moment? Alright, so first off, the Crew Cafe is haunted. It used to be a slave home. And Jeff, you don't have to keep that on me all night.
Okay.
You guys are all watching me. I'm more looking
Just
for like
looking
the
all
sweeps.
over.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah, you're the nice, slow sweeps.
Okay.
But the Crew Cafe used to be a slave home. And obviously it's extended because it's now 2 stories. Trying to find an address for a previous slave home is absolutely insane. So it's been really hard to try to find the true story there. But the owners claim that there was a suicide there. I did get some EMF readings upstairs, which I found odd. But I'd like to kind of go back and debunk that later this summer. Also, a little bit of Charleston history. The stop sign down there. Revolutionary War. Keep in mind, we're 1 block away from the water. It used to be a lot closer.
Right.
The Revolutionary War ship comes up, shoots a cannon, and the cannonball lands right where that stop sign is. No deaths, no tragedies, just a little bit of Charleston history. So this is your kind of like your training spot. So grids are okay in here. Here's what I'll tell you. The red barn is where they keep the horses for the carriage ride. It's also the same barn that they kept the horses that delivered milk to Charleston. That gives you kind of an age group. We're looking at 1850s roughly. Keep your lasers and noise away from those back windows. Jeff, we're going to need a full sweep from you. So basically, you're just going to walk around. Owen, you're going to find the hot spots. So when you have one, we need to be able to pull that camera over to you and kind of watch things. And the front camera should also migrate as well. Keep the bridge down, move it on slow. Spirit box is up, and you'll get activity.
There's some flashes in orange.
That was a little creepy, that music. I don't like that at all.
Also, I checked out what's underneath the ground here. This is all secret. There's nothing that you need to know.
I did.
Over here. Over here. Over here?
You what now?
Put it over where he is because he was going orange, 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 orange. But
So in order to get that light turned back on, there's the bottom button on the brake.
This thing doesn't really like it, so
I'll turn it right back
that's
on.
a good thing.
Doesn't stay on for very long. It's dead? Nope.
Let's see. Walk. Oh, it was like around here, right? Was it right here? Oh.
There you go.
So spirit box users, if you're asking questions, make sure they're not yes or no's. It's too easy to answer.
Okay.
I'm like,
Get solid.
there's a lot of noise right where everything's shining. Oh wait,
That's a good one. You want to give it
what
time
is
to
your
answer.
name?
So give it a good 2 minutes.
What year are you from?
The ghost isn't in the box. You don't need to scream at the box. That's a good
You're a
answer.
girl
What
or
year?
a boy?
got the other spirit box?
We have one.
Are you guys listening?
Yeah. Are you a girl or a boy? Were you a girl or a boy?
Didn't like that at all.
Should it be should be clear enough that we should understand it?
We'll understand it. And if you can't, either they couldn't draw up enough energy to say the whole word, or they couldn't stop the device long enough to actually say it. So you kind of have to think of the spirit boxes as Bumblebee from Transformers. Anything that's not yes or no. So like, go ahead and just
I guess this is stuff you made.
No.
I guess that's
You don't have to keep it up like this. Huh?
Okay.
so based on the story,
Back screen for me.
Here, hold it down here like this. There you go. Just go around it.
Alright, so should he keep walking? Do you see anything?
honestly, I mean, he's
No.
kind of like in a dead spot now. So let's find him a good hot spot. Like looks like he started off back here. Let's go back over here. Stop waving it around. Let's hold it as flat as we can. There we go. That's what we're looking for. So it's not in a pulse.
It's the heat from the exhaust fan up there.
But see,
Yeah, but I'm
down
done.
here.
Yeah, I know.
And now walk away.
What cold area?
Okay, there we go. So everybody kind of see how he has that
What
bright spot?
year were you born?
Yeah, what is this?
And then it just went back to green.
I don't know if that
It
means
says
anything or
finished.
not. Yeah.
Blue
That's,
spicy?
But
I think that's.
I'm not going to take
I
that
don't
as
know.
finished.
Yeah,
just
that's
yet.
on the ground.
Who do I have here with me
Could
tonight?
be.
Can you give me a name?
I just heard the oldies show, so maybe they're being funny. When were you born?
That was how did you I just got a there was a little that was
Yours who?
green light.
Okay, anyway, I was like,
I have it. How did you die? How did you die? How did you die?
May take a minute.
Sure.
Right in
And
front of
now.
my thing. Oh, I'm crazy. How did you die?
I'm not sure what you look for.
How did you die?
You got the word bow.
Who's the things post?
Bow and arrows.
It's the thing model.
Oh, from like what I heard?
It reads the temperature.
So again, answers can jump.
These are the few thermography conductors that any contractor uses thermometers. So we
oh, that's a rock. I was like, oh my gosh, but there's a rock.
heat.
You never know.
Red is hot. If it's a shape and blue, it goes
Why
to
did you
keep it. You see close to feet, but that's what you see the ground.
Okay, so come again.
It didn't take us very long.
How old were you when you died?
Nine?
9.
We heard 9.
9.
For how old were you when you died? And we heard 9. Pretty clearly.
Yeah.
Pretty clearly. Are you a boy or a girl? Are you a boy or a girl?
Hey, hon. Look at the blue
Well,
around the
chime
ground.
in
There's a
with
gray
me.
hair.
Are you a male or
So
how did you die?
that's blue in the ground.
I don't know. There's that just. You said there was sewage underneath it.
Oh, okay.
The infrared over here?
No, really.
Oh, when you get any other readings?
It's slow. Once in a while. Who killed you?
I think we should find out who they are first. Be a name?
What's your name?
There you go.
And this should be blue, some sort of a blue shade. And I'm not really seeing anything there.
What's your name?
Get a name.
Walking around right now.
Is this back corner only?
I see glints of silver. I saw glints of silver.
That might be the rainbow.
How did you die?
Wait, how did you die?
What's your name? I
Hey,
have a
honey.
question. I'm sorry. What would appear on this screen?
Yes,
On the screen.
I'm not seeing any type of variation.
Very quick. It's not going in. It's gonna flash back at that.
How
And it's
old
gonna
were
be
you when you
real
died?
quick. And it might just be a quick glimmer.
Of silver.
How did you die?
What's that?
Silver?
No, it's gonna be a glimmer.
I see a lot of green here. And I see little colors.
Some of those glimmers, like see this, he's right there on top of a rock or some type of leaf or something. So he used it slightly back there. It's gonna glimmer. Well, that's a leaf. We know that.
How did you
Really,
die?
he's saying it's grid. He's saying he's seeing the grid. Right.
What's your death?
You got nine. So when you died, you went to the sitting room and you don't know how.
Got the word dog.
Dog.
There's an interesting story later that involves the dog.
Huh.
Good. Love you though.
Dog.
His words come up, yeah, like they like decipher the words. We have to try to hear ours. We heard 9 very, I would say 9 was very good.
What year did you die?
What's your dog's name? No medium here tonight.
Right there. Right there is going crazy.
Every 21 something.
How old were you when you died?
Alright, I'm really not getting much. Like, I'm asking questions, you guys aren't telling me anything from your spirit boxes, the answers are coming through. I'm just really not feeling this location tonight,
I
to
have
be
a
quite
question. Would this thing be going crazy if it's not a ghost? Or like,
honest. Only if a piece of man-made material was nearby, like wiring. You're the only one that's capturing any evidence right now. You're the only one. The grid pens aren't catching anything, the spirit boxes aren't catching anything, you didn't catch any cold spots. I imagine you guys didn't see anything either. So I'm actually going to roll on to the next spot, and that way we can actually learn some history. How about that?
Honey, this is not the time to be doing that.
I got a big friend, like,
Your turn again.
Well, I'll never know either. I just know that the temperature variation should be a little bit more definitive because of the shape of the cold patch, which would be blue.
On something tomorrow when it gets through.
Being honest. Well, I'm recording it all.
Yeah.
Anyone schedule an appointment with me?
In here.
Yeah.
Alright.
As she said she was
Wrapped up.
walking.
There's a little bit of
It's a
history
race,
here.
but it was.
Actually learn about Charleston a little bit. So, you guys are standing on the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion site. So, what does that mean for you guys? It's a parking lot right now. I promise it's not going to be parking lot.
It got destroyed somehow.
Yes, got destroyed by fire. So, what's so important about Charles and Eliza? So Charles and his son, Charles Coatsworth, were signers of our Constitution. It's a big deal. They live here. Eliza, however, I don't like politics. I like to tell Eliza's story. A little bit more than money. So, you guys hear some kind of stories? Probably heard about the rice plantation in Charleston. You probably all know about rice plantation.
Yeah,
So, basically, they took a dive, and Charleston was on, like, not in a good economy. So, a little history on Eliza is she married Charles so she could stay here in the States. Her dad wanted her home because he was sick, and she said, nope, I want to stay here, so she married Charles. She was his second wife named Eliza, so there's one of the questions you can ask for spirit boxes. She's known as Eliza Lucas. So anyway, Daddy gets better, the two make amends, and Dad starts sending her plants over from England. One of those plants happened to be indigo. You're going to see indigo all over Charleston. Indigo in.
Starting.
Yeah, anytime I start talking about Eliza, she goes a little nuts. Eliza's very friendly. She likes to chat with me quite a bit. So indigo is the plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue.
Right.
Okay? So I like to tell that when the kids are here. They don't always know this stuff. So we still use it today, and she was also the businesswoman that sold it to all of the business people overseas. So in a sense, Eliza saved Charleston economically. So her garden started right here, lined up with the blue dumpster. The slave homes would have been in the back. Now, last week was the first time I actually went back there and did like a little EVP set, and asked some questions out of the spirit boxes. And I asked who lived there, and I got the name Cook. So it could have been the cook. Yeah, but this is a lot. Could have been the cook for the home, or it could have been the last name of Cook. So I haven't found the last name of Cook yet. So this is a great spot. So, and if you actually turn around and look at that blinking light on the back of the 5 sometimes it's blinking real slow like that. Other nights it's super fast, and other nights it just stays on. It usually will go in sync with whatever the EMF detector is doing, because it's that much energy that penetrates out of this place. So the sad thing about this particular lot, guys, is they're not going to do an archaeological dig. They're just going to put a commercial hotel here next year, and we're not going to be able to see anything that comes up out of the ground. It sucks. I know. Not to mention, I'm going to have to find a new hotspot. If I were to have a finale, this would be it. We're going to get a lot of activity out of here. The light's blinking a little slow, so it might be a little iffy. When it's blinking real fast, I know it's going to be a hot night. Like the spirit boxes are going to go nuts. The grid pens are going to kind of show us some things from time to time. So this is a good spot. I will ask you to stay away from the trailer. Sometimes we get homeless folks that like to hang out back there. We weren't sure one night, and then somebody walked by with the thermal camera, and we seen somebody sleeping back there through the thermal camera only. So we kind of got everybody towards the front. So just stay away from the trailers if you would, for safety reasons. And again, ask those questions. What's your favorite plant? It's not indigo. How many kids do you have? What are their names? Those kind of questions. Ask things that are going to make sense to get an actual one-syllable word that's not yes or no.
Do you have that history, like how many kids she had?
I know it.
Cool.
I'm not going to tell you, so it's not suggested.
Yeah, I know.
I also know the names. Ask how many boys, how many girls did she have?
Wow. Okay.
You can ask things like that. So let's get the spirit boxes going, and let's see what we can find out. Jeff, you're just going to do nice, slow sweeps throughout here. Now, what I will tell you is that the corners, like up here by the walls, you're going to get little cold wind pockets that are going to kind of be a false positive.
Yeah.
So I tell people don't get excited about it, but we will get some activity out of the spirit boxes. His EMF is already going crazy. So that's not me.
Yeah, it's my son. It's Jeffrey.
She could take over if you need to take it.
Well,
But yeah, nice slow sweeps and kind of get a gist
honey,
of...
take this for a minute. Let me answer it and tell him I'll call him back later, okay? The shuttle I've got
the
in the
word
car.
origin already.
Hey, isn't that fun? Hey.
Eliza, this is my
your life. However, the dots are on the ground. Design of your house. You're a lot of your life. Bring your daughter with you.
Couldn't quite hear you. What was your oldest child's name?
Eliza Lucas, how old were you when you died?
And actually, if you want to video it and test it frame by frame, I've already done that. It's within 2 milliseconds of frame. Like that's how and it's actually a thing to be about. So if he holds it up like this and it's blinking in sync with that, you can actually see it. It's almost every move.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's pulsing.
Right.
It is. And again, sometimes it's completely on.
Yeah.
If it's completely on, it's only happened twice. Maybe 3 times. I'm hearing a lot of different voices.
Eliza, how many children did you have?
Test the light. You hold it up like this, where you can see the light and your EMF. So if it's in line with that, normally it pulses the same way the light does. It's pretty off tonight. Like a lot of times, I've only seen it off like that a couple of times. But most times, it's actually right at the same red light.
Eliza, how many children do you have?
And what's funny is no ghost will talk about it. I mean, and the pygmies, I mean, we know they're all over the house. They're standing right there. Lightheaded. Like if you're hitting your stomach for lightheaded.
Hey Siri, send a text message to Jeffrey.
This is the location.
What do you want to say?
Like that thing is red.
I am holding the thermography device
And by
to
the time
detect
we were leaving, we
changes
stayed
in
probably
liquid
a
fluid, objects that potentially be of spirit
It was
nature.
just one of those like you got the stairs.
Love you too, Sam. Talk to you tomorrow.
Luckily, she had a family.
Well, like, ooze or common.
She was in the fall. They were lovely.
She seems really low for that. But
If I were to hear her answer, would the static stop or no?
For a split second, it's not going to be.
Yeah, I think they're.
Okay. It's going to stop for a split
Oh, it's just the shape of the window panes. See the blue in the window panes? And you see the 3 figures, it's the shape of the window panes and it's the bars, dividers. Not getting anything.
asking that same question.
How long does it take people to answer?
Maybe up to 2 minutes. I've asked the same question to Steve before.
Why my thing's delaying?
Eliza Lucas, how old were you when you died?
Eliza, how many children do you have?
Hey Siri, read my last text message received.
Eliza, how many children did you have?
Yes. Hey guys, I'm in
What do
Charleston.
you want to say to the group?
Hey guys, I am in Charleston, South Carolina, and I did legs today at the Gold's Gym on Folly Island.
Your message says, hey guys, I am in Charleston, South Carolina, and I did the legs today at the Gold's Gym on Folly Island. Great to send it.
Hey Siri, send a response to the group of the last text I received.
Who do you want to send it to?
Brian, Jim Bell, Larry Glass, Dave Gross, and Frank Hicks.
What do you want to say to the group?
Hey guys, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina on vacation. I did legs this morning at the Gold's Gym on Folly Island. We actually had an incredible press machine, which is sort of like a squat back pressure on your back.
Your message to... Okay, it's sent.
Come back to this spot. Whoever was there, come back.
Eliza, come back.
Eliza, how
Grab.
old were you?
Anybody feel like they got touched? Eliza, can you come back?
Oh, you're fine, you're fine.
So when you listen to this one on my phone as much as I do, you start to recognize some of the weird, odd sounds that you don't normally hear. It sounds like there's a bunch of different things going on in the
Eliza, how
background.
many children did you have?
Let me know what she tells you. We have an answer. We think.
You got anything out of yours?
We think one answer.
Which was?
How many children did she have?
And? What was the number?
2? No?
The answer was 4.
4. We did get 2 more than one time. She have 2 girls and 2 boys?
3 boys,
Darn it, Eliza.
1 girl, and one of them died as an infant.
Okay.
That does not seem to be Eliza, how old are you when you died?
You can also ask why she's married, but she's not here.
Yeah, you're more forceful with the girls. Ask where she's buried.
Eliza, you want to tell us where you're married?
Eliza, for the answer, we have an answer. How old were you when you died?
Eliza's got a lot of gadgets here.
I wish I had that picture.
Where did you die?
I still had that picture. There was a question about
Eliza,
a
how
reward.
old were you when you died?
Eliza, where are you buried?
Looks like the same picture like now.
You know, hold this for a bit. My phone's getting tired.
And the lake is brighter this one.
If he texts you back, I said, party tomorrow. I said, okay, but I won't be as drunk tomorrow as I am tonight.
Whatever.
Eliza, how old were you when you died?
What's that got to do with anything?
Eliza, how old were you when you died? What? Elijah, please tell me how old you were.
Hold
Elijah?
it for a minute, and then I'll take it.
Eliza, can you please tell me where you were buried? What?
Judge issues injunction against Bashir allows force to be open.
It's relevant. It's something I can look into.
Okay. I got like 5 minutes. I just
Is it better to walk through this or stay in one spot?
It's usually one spot. It's a standstill. Like normally this would be set up in a
Like
haunted
when you
group.
find one.
Literally, like when we have a half spot.
Then you go and check. Have you seen Elijah?
Good
Oh,
for
and no,
cemeteries
yes, no,
too, where
question.
apparitions are usually contained.
I don't know. He said no, yes, no. There's a lot over here. Elijah, what year were you born? Elijah, can you please tell me what year you were born? Over here. Elijah. Elijah? Where are you? It's Elijah. To the left or the right? Elijah? Can you tell me where you are? Did you say stand still? You're far. Elijah, can you stand in front of that camera? Can you see where I'm pointing to? And can you stand in front of that camera?
Oh, I heard like far like 3 times. And I was
So,
like, girl, I know.
oh,
Can you?
we're plants. Watch the car. Alright, so I got a couple of things out of this. She was just kind of being smart with me, and I asked where she was buried. She said in the ground, like coming through on the spirit box. And I always repeat what I hear, so you'll go back like 5 seconds or so, and that way you can hear it as well. And then I asked the same question over and over again, where are you buried? She's buried in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I said, give me the first syllable, and she's put buried 1. She is buried alone, to my knowledge, up there in Philly. So I got a little bit, but I did just get the word plants. So it is kind of relative to where we are based on she was a botanist. So I am going to move us on to the next spot. It's about 3 blocks away. So keep filming. Your lasers need to be pretty much done for a little bit until we get to our next location, because it's going to be on a very busy street. If you want to listen to your spirit boxes on the way there, that's fine. I'll probably have mine up a little bit, but usually people like to chat and mingle a little bit if you guys want to. So is this what y'all expected? Is this what you guys were expecting to do? Told you, anything that's scary is all in your head. So, all right, let's take a hike. Everybody, we're going to go down these steps. Watch this stuff.
Watch where.
Mm-hmm. Candy store, huh?
This is a good potty break if anybody needs to go. It's the only stop.
And free.
Everybody good on the restroom? Yep. Okay.
I need to go back there.
Okay. We'll go back and look. Why point it out? I've been pointing it out more and more. that thing's gonna go crazy because of the
Yeah, you got lots of
transplant.
So it's just wires and stuff from like all the.
Enough to make it go. So chicken hope.
Chicken hope.
Chicken hope.
Hard chicken hope.
So when I look at this data as a whole, like I'll be able to kind of make an assumption. I've had energies. Here, we're kind of standing on the square. Like you can see it, like right after the riot that we had here, a couple tours after that, it was all related to the riot. It was angry, rally, go away, vandalize. Like it was all like energy based on what's been happening. When they took the Calhoun statue down, was that last week? Like I had it the next night. They were already like spirits were talking about the statue. It was crazy. It was
very cool.
Yeah, happens all the time. That was quick, buddy. All right, let's do this.
Impressive.
Friendly things were being done.
Yeah.
Riots.
About little things.
No. Don't start.
Are you getting anything?
Not a thing. Not a thing. Maybe he'll see something later.
Maybe.
I think there's somebody smoking some pot in here.
It's a hot cigar.
Yeah. Not sharing either.
Yep.
Sweet smells, dead giveaway. Not that I would know.
I would.
Yes, you would.
I have one time.
I bet clients offer to me a cardinal fee.
Am I walking too fast for anybody?
What would happen if it was flashing like from red to nothing? Like
It means whoever was with us left. Simple as that. That's because there's the wires under the street.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so it's going to make it go a little crazy because all the wires for the crosswalks and the street lights. And then when you're not near one, it's just like, here's a field, and you walk through the force field. Does that make sense? You're basically measuring force field going.
Tango.
That you read a lot of books, don't you? Are you a reader? You seem like you'd be a reader. Yeah.
Where's your map?
Nick, are any of the books you've written, I think you said they were like paranormal books, right?
Yeah, all fiction.
Are they appropriate for kids or no? Well enough. Teens? Guys,
There's your restaurant here, honey. Your restaurant here, Magnolia's.
Yes.
Food was, dinner was amazing.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? At least we get out and walk.
Yeah.
We always like to go in alleys.
it is well.
Upper level dining.
Consider what?
Upper level dining.
Oh.
That's what it said.
Alright, this is an interesting place. So, has anybody come across this street yet? Any other tours? This is Lodge Alley. This is one of the oldest streets of Charleston. So we're talking early 1700s. So your bricks are made out of clay, which is why they're a little bit wobbly from being worn. People actually used to live here, believe it or not. So early 1700s. I used to tell like one of my psychic stories here. They get a little overheated.
Just want to get my mask on.
Just want to make sure you're good. But it gets like I'm researching this location more and more, so I'm waiting for some of the evidence, and I've already got some from here already tonight. So I did get the word wheat, which really wouldn't have been a big crop for this area, but it doesn't mean that they didn't pass through or that they didn't eat it. Watch the windows; those are people do live here, and there are restaurants. But I also got the word unemployment. What that tells me dramatically, I just got that word. They actually found artifacts in between the bricks based on the silverware and some of the other artifacts from that time period, and it tells them that this is where kind of like the lower class lived. So unemployment would have been a big deal. Not to mention dramatically a big deal. And again, 1 block away from the water, which was much closer, this would have been a lot of fish coming through here. This would have been a lot of those kind of sailor type areas. The other cool thing about this, I mean, Lodge Alley Inn is behind me. It also has its own ghosts. Every hotel down here has its own stories, but there's no real history or a specific person attached to it. It's just one of those, every hotel has a ghost. This is also where the Masons used to meet. So this would have been a cool night for us here in Charleston. You guys have been here for a couple days or longer. You know how hot it's been the past few nights. This would have been one of the nights, because to me this is kind of cool. You know, I'm not sweating to death. Where they would come down and they would do their business right here on the street. So again, I'm kind of waiting for, I got the word left. I usually look for names when I'm here, just because I do have the full roster of residences of people that lived here. And they were very simple names. John, James, Elizabeth, like very simple, everyday names. And I said the word seek. So I kind of hang out here, kind of give you guys an update of where we're at, give everybody a breather. This is a very important street for Charleston because it is within the 4 walls of the original Charlestown walls. So you got to remember, this city used to be walled. They had big brick walls around it. So this would have been within the confines of that. So very cool historic moment, and that building is original. So I kind of give you, I want to say they lived in the late 1750s, based on the architecture.
They have like the remnants from the earthquakes. Yeah.
So, guys, at the end of this here is actually residential. Tour guides are not allowed to be tour guides in residential areas. We're going to be 11 friends ghost hunting. When we go through here, we're going to make a right. I know, crazy, right? Even though I don't have a license, I still follow the rules. So we're just going to make a right outside of here, and we're going to move on to the next one. So we'll see what actually comes out of the audio.
What is your name?
Good question. It was more like historical. I mean, actually, I don't have all of it.
Anybody see?
What is all the what? What?
All the rise and children.
Oh, because
They had
the riot.
riots 2 to 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
There's a beetle right there. Watch out, there's a beetle.
Ooh, at least it's a beetle and not a roach.
Ah, feels good out here. It is.
I used to just start this over when I first got it started. My coach just got the audio. That was it. Yeah. Biggest thing I'm learning today is I'm really easier. That way I don't watch on TV. Me and my daughter actually sit down. Jeff. Last time I was down here, I usually try to stop and film that brick building down at the end because it's, you know, new to the tour. However, we're going to kind of all walk very quickly past it because the resident from behind got a little upset by me using a camera. He doesn't understand it's a thermal imaging camera. I'm not trying to do anything illegal.
Keeping Tom.
Yeah, so he was just a little upset. So we're gonna pass by it, but I'm gonna give you the story right here. So that used to be Bocce's restaurant. I'm gonna point it out once we get up there. It was sold in 2015 back to the city. It was built in the 1980s. Doors don't stay closed in there. Things move around. It was sold because it is haunted and the owner couldn't take it anymore. Mirrors will fall off the wall and not break. I take that as a portal. They came through rather forcefully and the mirror didn't break because they were still within the confines of the mirror. But I like to catch to see just a quick glimpse. So as we're walking, you're just going to kind of put it down to the side and see what we can capture. And then we're going to make a left and down at that stop sign down there. But again, if I were to have a ghost stories in a cemetery ghost shop, that would be it. I would rent the upstairs out as a haunted location, have a ghost kid in every room, and then I'd have a small library of supernatural books and all the equipment downstairs. Like that's the dream. So that's where I'm after.
One day.
What's it called?
Bocce. We're heading this way.
Hey, if you go to the right though, you're facing.
This is a modern thing. That was a jam, right? You don't talk about this.
Just got the name David. Does that mean anything to anybody?
What is your name, Spirit? What is your name, Spirit? Spirits now, tell me, what is your name? Maybe you can talk to him or her. I'll wait till we get to
Whether it is or not, it's talking.
What?
So whether it is or not,
It's this building right here.
But if it was with the actually she's yeah, no, that's not. Like if they would have done one or the other, I could have been okay. But yeah, I was like, let me ask what street are we on? What street are we on? What street are we on?
Jeff, you're going to keep that camera on the cemetery the whole time. We're going to jump in between the bars and kind of get the whole thing. Good spot. You just want to mind the building in the back. So, guys, there's a couple of stories here. Kind of keep the spirit box story. I have mine running. I think it's in David. Very interesting. So, guys, there's a sign right here in front that says there's no ghosts in the same building. What is it? 1888, that's 10 days after the Stillwater trial. 1988, he gets photographers in town, and he's just shooting cemetery pictures of all of our cemeteries. It's a collaboration. Can't explain it. It's a So, the other stories that go along with this place, guys, there's two sides of the cemetery, east and west side. So on the other side we have John C. Kaitlyn, where he's buried, which is super cool. But right past the cemetery we have the pirate house, which is where Blackbeard's man used to come in off the ship. Blackbeard would stay on the ship, and the men would stay and have a drink and have a place to stay. There used to be a tunnel that went from, once we talk about the next one, again in the word lady. You're going to realize why that's funny to me in a second. There's a tunnel that went from the pirate house up to Dr. Theater, which is one of the most haunted locations in America. What's that? Yeah. It happens. It's on emotion sensor.
At least you're
You're not here to make things up. So, the Dock Street Theater is haunted by Nettie Dickerson. She used to work here at the church. She was past the marrying age of 17. She was 23. So she went down to go get a job at Dock Street Theater. So a little history on the Dock Street Theater. First it was a theater, then it was a hotel with prostitution, and then it's the theater that we know now. This was during a time when it was a hotel. So she goes down and she gets herself a job. Y'all can guess why. That's why it's funny that I got the word lady of the night. So she goes down, puts on her best white dress. She still wasn't happy, so she used to go out onto the second floor balcony and wander up into the church. You can see the church from that second floor balcony. I tested it myself. So the priest from the church goes down to convince her to come back. A storm rolls in, lightning strikes the wrought iron banister that she's leaning on and strikes her dead. Now, her ghost is said to be seen there from the knees up only. Why is that? So when we turned it back into a theater again, we raised the first floor ceiling. She's walking on the floor that she knows. So you can only see her from the knees up. And we didn't know that ahead of time. Somebody actually had to research and go, why is this woman so short? Her dress, the bottom of it's missing, you can't see the hem. But yeah, it's because she's walking on the floor that she knows. The other ghost that's there is that of Junius Booth, father of John Wilkes Booth, who shot Lincoln in a theater. He's not from here, he didn't die here, he's not buried here. He's just said to be, he shows up from time to time, don't know why, in period dress. This would have been when Dock Street Theater was originally a theater. So, those are the three major stories that come out of this corner. I like to kind of capture to see if we can get with the thermal imaging camera. I haven't caught anything with the grid pens here yet. I normally will not catch things in a cemetery. I know this is called Stories in the Cemetery, but we're walking through a cemetery because Charleston had that much tragedy happening. So, I don't normally capture a whole lot. I do investigate a lot of cemeteries. I think 2 have been active, Magnolia being one of them. So if you actually have the opportunity to take that Bulldog tour, take it. And have your EMF or this particular app open. You will have activity, I promise you. So, we're actually going to go back down a little bit and go back to the alley that we passed up. So, hopefully we captured something on that video.
In the corner where they keep up off.
So we're going to go back to that alley where that wall is back there, but everybody kind of take note of that doorway. That used to be Dueler's Alley. So duels, take 20 paces, turn and shoot. The loser would come through that gate and go straight to the cemetery. I call that the death gate. That's why it's through. Nobody talks about that either.
See that gate? The alley behind is called Duelers. Do you know what a duel is? And whoever died, he said, would go end up in that cemetery. They'd walk the dead body through that door.
See the door back there in the wall? The loser would go straight to the
Why is there a pet right there?
because this is now like a daycare center.
Jeez.
It's a what?
Right next to the cemetery. So guys, there's a building over there, the Powder Magazine, and I will tell you that it's not haunted. I've done my field investigation there, but it is on paper the oldest building in Charleston. Wow. So super cool building. It actually has a groin vault ceiling, which means it has 8 pillars around the edge of it and 1 in the center, and they all meet in the center. And they're 36 inches thick. The roof is actually filled with the original sand from 1712, so in case something happened to it, an explosion, it will keep the explosion in. Again, it's right on the edge of where the Charlestown walls would have been. A little bit further inland, as you can imagine, because the water is that way. So that tells you why we put it over here to protect it. It has served in about 11 wars, in and out, and right now it's a museum. It costs about $5 to go in. So if you like old war outfits and those kind of things, and armory, that's your place to go. I think I've read every book that's in there too. But it's not haunted. They claim that it is, but it's not. This is where it's me.
Yeah, but you go on. Thank you. The breeze would be nice, wouldn't it?
Nobody says anything about anything. What's that? With guys like Owen, that keep me on my toes all night. I thought I was Google. And he was just plugging in anything he could, and I just like, dude, you gotta look back.
Philadelphia Alley. What do you have the choice to take this one? Here.
Yeah.
They could let someone else hold it. I remember the little store.
Picture spot, daytime, nighttime. This is the most peaceful place in Charleston. Yeah, there is. I got a story to tell you. It's over here. This is the gate that I showed you guys from the other side. I usually like to stop here because every other tour goes a little bit further back. So, again, I told you guys this used to be Dueler's Alley. Before that it was Cow Alley because this is where they kept all the livestock. Then it became Dueler's Alley, so the cows and pigs and chickens would all be hanging out in here. So Dueler's Alley, everybody tells the one story, but I want you all to keep in mind, this is a legend of Charleston. There have probably been hundreds, if not thousands of duels that have happened here. So, the one story is that of Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd, or the Whistling Doctor. You can Google the Whistling Doctor, and this is the story you'll hear. I'm going to make it very short for y'all. I'm not a dramatic, blow it up kind of thing, but it does kind of pertain to some of the gadgets that we're using, which is really cool. So, the doctor moved down here from New Jersey. He was going to marry his fiancée, Amanda. However, Amanda's parents just passed away, and she inherited a bunch of money, and her lawyer said, no, I think you're after her money. You need to go start your practice, and then we'll talk. Okay, so he moves down here. The coachman drops him off where he would have been robbed and killed. He set him up because the coachman was going to take part of that money. A passerby named Ralph Isaacs says, nope, you don't want to stay here. Let me take you somewhere else. He takes him to 59 Church Street, which is 1.4 miles away from here. Sorry, I didn't see you back there. I'm like, I'm missing somebody. So anyway, that's important later in the story. So two women own the place. He rents the upstairs bedroom. So the two became friends. The doctor is very happy. He's a whistling guy. That's kind of his thing. And his practice takes off. But the two, Ralph Isaacs and the doctor, remain friends, but they're on different ends of society. But they still go see plays. They sit in different seats because of their societal measures. And they talk about the plays afterwards. So on the way home one night after watching Richard III, they get in an argument about the new actress that came through. The doctor loves her, Ralph does not. Well, it turned into an insult party on the doctor's fiance back home in New Jersey. So they get upset with each other, they go their separate ways. Ralph Isaacs puts something in the paper about what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. He's not from here, he comes down here and takes our money. The doctor rebuttals with, let's settle it in Dueler's Alley. So the two come down, the doctor is probably on this side because Church Street is that way, and Ralph on that side. They take their 20 paces, they turn, the gun, he shoots in the air. He doesn't want to kill his friend, he only wanted to make a point. However, Ralph Isaacs takes 2 shots below the knees, and the doctor drops. He's not dead, he's not going through the gate, so his friends pick him up, they carry him 1.4 miles back home, and he dies 10 days later. Now, why is this place haunted? You can hear him whistling as you walk through. Or you might hear gunshots, based on the audio. I've only caught one whistling once, and was not able to debunk it. I couldn't tell if somebody was joking around with us, because people will do that because this is known as, you know, the Whistler, or the gunshots. I haven't heard any gunshots down here. So at the end of this, one other cool little thing about this place, and I shouldn't even say cool, it's just another Charleston nugget. It is residential at the end, so when I show you guys this, I will point and I will move on. The bricks you're walking on are going to get older as we get to the end. The end bricks were turned, sun-dried, by slave children. Their handprints and fingerprints are still in the bricks. I've only had activity from it one time, and that was about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3. My daughter caught it. The EMF went a little crazy, and then we actually had some spirit box activity. I'm not going to ask any of you to do that tonight because, again, it's right next to a gentleman's home.
Right.
So we're going to keep moving, and then we're going to go to the left, but I will point out the full handprint. So whoever's behind me, I'll point it out, and then you can point it out to the next person so we can all kind of take a look at the full handprint. It's sad, but it is part of our history. It's in 3 different places, actually. Boone Hall, Drayton Hall, and Philadelphia Alley are where they're found. So if you guys visit other places, that's where they're at. They're in, and I think all the other ones are in the walls. This one's actually on the ground. Now, the bricks you're standing on were replaced back in the 1980s. Just to kind of give you a gist of how old they're going to actually get. I'm surprised. If anybody wants a picture of the most peaceful place in Charleston, grab it now before we walk down. And Jeff holds up the thermal camera. Good job. The EMF, Owen, is going to go a little nuts in the middle because that's where the actor studio is for Dock Street Theater.
Okay.
Just so you know. I don't like to get anybody excited about that. Again, I'm not here to make things up. Jeff's still waiting for a ghost to show themselves.
That's all right.
He's trying.
Maybe on here somewhere and I didn't even see it.
And honestly, with all the evidence together, that's why I stack it the way I do, so I can look at it as a whole. And that way, you guys will have a quick analysis, too. So we have one more location to get to, and then we'll get you guys home because you're yawning. I'm boring, apparently.
No. I have 5 kids. I'm only great with here with them.
Mine are growing, so I don't have to really worry about it. I even consider London my 14-year-old.
Oh, no, look at this. I want to go in the back.
Ours are all grown.
Can't wait.
Heard the whistle and there was nobody else around. So I know it does happen and people do hear it that we know actually. So keep an ear out. I always have at least one joker in my group that I heard those stories and
What is it? Little hand here. Oh, mine won't. I didn't put it on a delay. I don't know how to. Oh, okay.
This is the one with the handprint right there.
Almost looks like a foot. Whoops.
The musical.